Man, let's go, Raider Nation. We're bringing some energy tonight, man. We got a lot of things to talk about. Shout out to Digital Perez, man. That boy did his thing, got taken care of the copyright issue when it came to the audio, and we're back and better than ever, man. And we got a great show lined up for you. So let everybody know on social media where you guys are at tonight, and let's make this one heck of a show, man. Let's just build upon the momentum that we created last week with having Andy on the show. And look, who knows who's going to be coming on tonight, man. With this thing with Raider Nation, the outreach, the community, it's so special that you never know on this channel who's about to pull up. So you guys, we're going to let some time for the chat to marinate a little bit. We're going to be talking the Vikings. We're going to be talking the offensive side of the football, things to look out for, defensive side of the football, some things, a few players to emerge. And if we got time, we're going to open up this panel and let people talk, man. So chat, it's going to be about you guys tonight. Keep up the vibes. Keep up the energy. Man, we just need 3 subscribers for 700. So everybody, man, go and smash that subscribe button. And everybody in the chat, there's 11 of you. Go over. We should have 11 likes. Just starting off the bat, man, the first 2 minutes of this video, we should be having 11 likes. And let Raider Nation know where you guys are at. So that way it just makes this experience better for everybody watching. So with that being said, Raider Nation, man, let's just kick off this show, man. Let's just talk about the offensive side. First and foremost, actually, I just want to address the chat real quick, man. Vance City, man, you're fired up. I hope you guys like that intro. Shout out to Digital Prez, man. That is my boy. He hooked me up, really came through when I needed it last second. That boy does his thing. He's really good at what he does. Halo Raider says, let's go. And that's what I'm saying, boy. That intro, I'm about to go suit up, fly out to Las Vegas and play the Minnesota Vikings tomorrow. Lord says, salute. Press Spielberg. Yeah, that boy is good with that cinematography. Boy, I tell you what. Hey, I finally caught you live. First live with you for me. Absolutely love DC forever. Thank you for being here. You're always welcome here, man. We're going to have a great show tonight, you guys. I feel it. There's going to be good vibes, good energy. Digital Press says 3 more for 700. If you're not yet, go and subscribe. Halo Raider says, salute DigiP. That's right. That's my boy. Sean Johnson says, hey, Raider Ray. Chris Graham says, go Raiders. That's right. Anthony says, yo, what's good? Salute to my dog. What's going on, Anthony? I hope you're doing well. Digital Press. Okay, well, that was quick. You hit 700. Just like that. Hey, that's all it took, man. The goal is to get to 1,000 before the season starts. So everybody, let's do that. And look, we got some things. I'm going to announce it, okay? I'm going to announce this right now. Next Tuesday, we're going to have Andy back on the show. So you can look forward to Raider Ray meeting back up with Andy here on the show Tuesday night. So you guys aren't going to want to miss that. And then one that I'm really excited about later on into the week, you guys, a guy who I personally watched before I was even a content creator, Raid the Tape. Me and him have been talking on Instagram, and he wants to come onto the show, and I would love to have him. So let's do it. Let's bring Raider Nation the best Raiders content possible, bringing all attention, all focus to this roster and what the Raiders could do moving forward and things that me and other content creators see. And, man, let's just have good conversations. This channel is the place to be if you're just looking for Raiders football talk and just to sit down and have good, genuine conversation with your favorite content creators, man. So let's get down to the chat, man. We got a lot of people blowing it up. We got 19 of you. Everybody go smash that like. Auntie 6 says, what's up, my brother Ray? What is going on, Auntie? Digital says, Halo. OG says 10 days of film study to get us more polished and more on point. Attaboy, OG. I love it. And look, this is honestly some of my favorite time because these depth players that aren't going to make the roster, I love watching film. So this is what I love to do. So I'm in heaven right now. I mean, not really, but I'm enjoying this preseason. I'm enjoying the momentum. I'm enjoying where the Raiders are at as a team, you guys. So Auntie 6 says Halo, Prez. Auntie says OG. Bugsy says Raider Ray, salute, brother. Salute to you, my friend. Van City says, okay. Listen, people, Ray is 3 away from 700. Let's make this happen, this show, and let's show him the power of Raider Nation and get him to 1K by kickoff. And Van City, keep bringing that energy. I need the entire chat, boy, to keep that same energy because this channel's only going to grow, and it's because of Raider Nation. Look, it's a little bit to do with the work that we put in. And I'm committed to bring you guys the best Raiders content possible, but it's about the nation. It's about the chat. Spread the word about this show, and your favorite content creators will be on here, I promise you. Debo says, Raider Ray, looking forward to your content with Andy and Raid the Tape. I am too. I think it's good football knowledge to bring to Raider Nation, and those guys can bring more to the table. And I just think that we balance off of each other really well. Maybe I have a viewpoint of the roster that maybe those guys don't have, and we can just really have a good dialogue and a good discussion about the Raiders, the team that we love. Hey, look, Raphael is in the building. What's good, Raider Ray? Snoop says Raider Ray in the nation. That's right. Man, y'all are just blowing up the chat. I absolutely love it, man. Ray, you should get Wasted Tuesday night too. That would be fire. And Wasted's gonna hit me up. He's probably already hit me up on Instagram right now. I can't use my phone right now. I'm focused on this show. I'm focused on you guys, the chat. And me and Wasted I'll confirm that. Okay, I'll come out and say that. Me and Wasted have been talking behind the scenes a little bit. And we're going to try to get him on the show as well. So you guys, look, we're bringing you the best Raiders content possible. So let's get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers by the kickoff, man. There's a lot of work that goes into this, a lot of sacrifice time away from family, and I really appreciate your guys' loyalty. Sean Johnson, all right, he's kicking it off with the first question, man. Let's get into today's content, bro. I want to see the O-line step up tomorrow against the defensive line. And so since, Sean, you brought up the offensive line, let's just jump straight into the offensive side of the football. And there are a few key players that I want to take a look at tomorrow when it comes to the Raiders' offensive line. And really, Alex Leatherwood, we all know that Brandon Parker is more than likely out for the season, right, Raider Nation? And so I know that everybody was looking at Brandon as Alex Leatherwood's main competition when it comes to the right tackle position. But I want to drop this nugget in for Raider Nation. Brandon Parker was not the biggest competition for Alex Leatherwood. Matter of fact, now that Brandon Parker's out of the way, Alex Leatherwood has much more competition by a guy by the name of Jermaine Illuminor. I would encourage you guys tomorrow night, focus on Jermaine Illuminor. He is the Raiders' true swing tackle. And to be honest, I believe he's the best Raiders right tackle right now. I think Jermaine Illuminor could be your serviceable starter moving forward into the season. And I think if you wanted to, you could get by with him starting at right tackle for this team. And it puts Alex Leatherwood in a really unique situation because, look, if you're talking about kicking him inside to guard, Lester Cotton isn't just some pushover either. That boy's put in a lot of work this offseason. And to kick Alex Leatherwood inside, whether he's at the right tackle position or the right guard position, this boy is in a deep competition when it comes to the right side of this offensive line. There are guys on this roster. And look, if you don't even want to put Jermaine Illuminor in the conversation at right tackle, Jermaine Illuminor is going to compete for a starting spot on this team. Make no mistake about it. So whether it's Illuminor and Lester Cotton battling out, if it's Alex Leatherwood and Jermaine Illuminor battling it out, I'm telling you what, you guys, that right side of the offensive line is heating up week 2 with Brandon Parker going down, and I'm extremely excited to see it because Jermaine Illuminor, if you've been following this channel, is a guy I've been really high on. Played for the Patriots, played guard and tackle. Keep an eye on him. So offensive line needs to step up. I'm really encouraged to see Dylan Parham and to see his development. He did okay at center. There was a few things I did like about reassessing his film. I went back and watched the game a few times again. And at center, I really liked his shotgun reps. I liked his ability. In shotgun, he looked extremely comfortable. And I really liked what I seen. I do think that Andre James is your starting center moving forward and into the season. And you can give Dylan Parham the time to develop because I don't think he's there. And there's nothing wrong with that, Raider Nation. You could take time to develop these guys and put them back behind established veterans. We kind of talked about that. But going into week 2, look, I'm excited for this guy to line up at the right guard position. I think he thrived, and I think he can push. Look, he's going to be a backup center, and he's definitely a backup guard right now, and that's okay. That's actually a really good spot for him to be in, being a third-round pick. He is right where he needs to be, Raider Nation. So do not panic. Dylan Parham is in good hands. He's in good shape. And I'm looking for the development. Can he consistently put good tape together for the next 3 weeks? That's going to be crucial for Dylan Parham. And to put him into the topic of conversation if he's going to earn a starting role. Moving to the left side, John Simpson, I think he's doing okay. But we'll see. John Simpson is also going to be in competition. He didn't have the best week 1. He put some good things out on film, some bad things. And obviously the left side of the line, I'm looking to see who emerges as the backup left tackle. And look, like I said, Jermaine Illuminor is your best swing tackle right now. He could be backup left tackle. He could be the starting right tackle moving forward. And you got to raise a question. Hey, do you kick Alex Leatherwood and create him to be a swing tackle? What are you going to do? Because say Alex Leatherwood gets beat out. Let's just speak hypothetically. Now, I don't think that this is necessarily going to happen. But let's just say that Jermaine Illuminor was to beat out Alex Leatherwood and Lester Cotton were to beat out Alex as well. What do you do with Alex Leatherwood? Do you kick him over to the left guard spot? Is he now your developed swing tackle on the left and right side? It's kind of interesting moving forward, you guys. There's a lot to look forward to for this offensive line. Thayer Mumford is also a guy that I'm looking forward to. So let's see what the chat is saying, man. You guys are just blowing up the chat, bro. I absolutely love this. Anthony says, Raider Ray, question. Who are you interested in that really doesn't get any action in the Hall of Fame game? And I'm going to go with Amik Robertson. Look, with Trayvon LeBlanc hitting IR, this is a veteran savvy player that I was looking forward to watching. Trayvon was one of those guys who was nasty when it comes to tackling, good, versatile player in both man and zone coverage. And now that Amik Robertson didn't get any playing time in the Hall of Fame game, you lose Trayvon LeBlanc to season-ending IR. There's an opportunity for guys like Darius Phillips, Amik Robertson, Chris Jones, all of these guys competing for the lower end of this roster at the cornerback position. And Amik is one of those guys who I want to see him have a big preseason. I want to see him come out there, play aggressive, play with the juice and the energy that he brings, and put him both inside and outside. I think that you can do that with a guy like Amik. His natural size is the biggest issue. And me and Andy talked about it last week. It's his size that is his biggest downfall. His coverage ability is actually okay. It's just these matchups in the NFL. These guys are too big, too fast, and it's see ball, get ball. And a lot of times when you're a 5'9" guy going against a 6'3" wide receiver who's 200 plus and a savvy route runner, it's really hard to overcome those things. But let's see what Amik Robertson can do. I'm curious to see what a guy like Chris Jones can do. There's another guy I wanted to look at here. Darius Phillips. Darius Phillips had a really good week one. Really good, solid tackler, played disciplined football. Really, you guys, I want to see this Raiders football team carry preparation into week two. They're going to have a lot more practice under their belt than what they did the Hall of Fame game, and I want to see clean football. I'm not too worried about the score. I just want to see a prepared football team who's getting after the ball and all the skill positions competing, offensive line, defensive line in the trenches. I want to see those guys play Raider football, smash mouth, get after the quarterback, put your hands on guys, get aggressive in the run game. I'm looking for some good film. So that's who I would say that I'm looking forward to who didn't get a lot of playing time week one, you guys. But we'll get more into it. But that was just to answer your question. Raphael says, congratulations on your 700 subscribers. So shout out to the chat, man, for making that happen. We are now at 700, and I couldn't do it without you guys, man. We've grown so much in 3 months, and it's all because of you guys. You guys are so good to me, so loyal. And so this is just me giving back to you guys, man, giving you guys good Raiders content. Raphael says, I can't wait to have a collaboration with you talking Raiders stuff. Absolutely, brother. You know I love to talk football, so we can set that up. AllEyesOnG.com says, salute Ray and to the nation. Shout out to All Eyes on G. Van City says, we're one big silver and black family, and that couldn't be farther from, man, you nailed it right there, Van. We are all family over here. You guys have been so loyal. James, Raiders. Salute, Ray. Raider Nation. Salute, chat. Everybody, drop a Raiders for my boy, James. Man, everybody's just chatting it up down here. I absolutely love it. You guys are making this absolutely fun. Sean Johnson, Raider Ray. Apparently, Thayer Mumford is getting a lot of hype. And look, this is the same situation that we had with the Brandon Parker situation. So be careful with the Thayer Mumford hype. He has a long way to go. He finished with a 53 overall grade in that first Hall of Fame preseason game, and he wasn't going against a bunch of competition, you guys. So make no mistake about it. Sean, I know that we've talked about it on Instagram. Tremaine Illuminor is that guy. I'm going to keep saying it. Tremaine Illuminor is that guy, but I am interested. Look, kick Thayer inside. I want to see him do what Dylan Parham's been doing. I want to see him at the guard positions. I want to see him at tackle positions. Put this guy with the simplified scheme up front, you guys. Coach Priscillo has done a phenomenal job with getting these young guys up to speed with playing a multitude of positions. And the Tom Cable scheme, you just weren't able to do that with the complexity of the zone blocking. Switching over to power gap scheme, it's just simplified everything up front for these guys. So you're able to see all these guys shift around and moving parts and play with different techniques. And me personally, as a fan of smash mouth football, you got to love it, right? I want to see Thayer Mumford move into a guard position. I want to see him, particularly that left guard position. I want to see him kick out to the tackles. He's a guy that needs to get a lot of reps. There's a few of these guys that need reps. Dylan needs reps. Thayer needs reps. And Bam Osalene needs reps. I would really like to see Bam get more involved. I would like to see him play the entire third and fourth quarter. I want to see what his conditioning's like. And something about Bam, look, I know he's been predominantly playing the left tackle position. A lot of people forget that Trent Brown actually played guard in college and was a huge guard. Now, the issue with bigger guards, you guys, let me give you a little bit of a school lesson. The issue with bigger guards, when you're talking about a guy who's 6'9", 350 pounds, is when you're that tall playing on the interior of offensive lines, you have to play with really, really good pad level. And I don't know that Bam is necessarily there yet. However, I think in preseason, when you have nothing to lose, see what Bam can offer you when it comes to depth, also at the guard position. I would like to see him kick inside the left guard and just be a big, mauling power guard. I mean, this guy, when it comes to run blocking, he's already there. I mean, he creates probably some of the biggest lanes that I've seen for the Raiders, probably since Kelechi Osemele was here and playing really good football. So Bam is one of those. Did I say Kelechi? You know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I might have made a mistake there. I might have not. Kelechi Osemele. Bam Olaseni, though, can open up huge gaps into the run scheme. So I'm really curious to see, when you guys watch the game, look for that out of Bam. When it's a running play, really watch him and watch the amount of space, the 4 to 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. He moves the pocket. He gets up into the second level and really gets his hands up on linebackers. He does phenomenal when it comes to the run game. I would just watch his feet, his set coming out of his kick slide. Notice those things about him. But look, he's the longest tackle in the National Football League. He has the ability to get his hands on guys. He's a really fun player to watch, in my opinion. I really like to watch Bam because he's so raw. And look, we came up with this saying last week, right? You could always cook raw meat. And that's what Bam Olaseni is. These guys who are aging and veterans, they're already overcooked, right? They're 36, 37. They're injury prone. You can't uncook cooked meat. But when you're raw, like Bam Olaseni, you can cook that meat. And Coach Priscillo is back there cooking Bam up. And I'm excited to watch it. So let me get back to this chat, man. All right. I hear Amika's getting the reps. Yep, that's what we talked about. Richard's in the building, everybody. I appreciate you, Richard. You've been showing some love and support, man. I appreciate you for pulling up to the show. Auntie Six says Ray. Auntie Six equals fire. Facts. And look, if we get time and I get through all this, look, we might be opening this up and we might have some fun discussions tonight before we kick off next week with a big heavy hitting lineup. Look, Raider Ray is bringing a big heavy hitting lineup next week. You're talking Andy, potentially talking Wasted. We're talking Raid the Tape. We're bringing some heavy hitters onto the show next week, y'all. Digital Press says all eyes. Anthony says, I really wanted to see Isaiah Palomar. I was really looking forward to seeing him in the Hall of Fame game because he really didn't get as much action as I thought he would. The problem is he didn't necessarily not get enough action. He had an opportunity to get an interception. There was a tip ball, and it was kind of floating up in the air, and it just kind of went in and out of the hands of Isaiah Palomalu. Those are the plays that the Raiders defense has to capitalize on this season, you guys. If our defensive backs playing a lot of man coverage, they're going to get their hands on the football. As a defense, you have to have good football awareness to when that ball is in the air. And look, these guys practice it all the time. It's part of tip drills. When that ball is in the air, you have to be disciplined enough to keep your eyes on the ball and get after it. And that's where the Raiders are going to find success. Because, look, let's face it, you guys. I don't think the Raiders are a top 10 defense. And I'm just going to keep it a buck with you guys. I will always be real over here. The Raiders aren't a top 10 defense. So playing a lot of man coverage like I believe that we're going to do, we're going to get our hands on a lot of footballs. That gives you an opportunity to create turnovers. And Isaiah Palomalu should have came away with the turnover in that first game. So, yeah, I'm interested. I want to see him play. Into that second quarter, third quarter. I think you're going to see a good rotation of guys this week. Maybe some formations, some situations, guys playing with each other that they weren't playing with last week, and just to kind of mix guys around to get a different feel. Maybe a guy like Zach Van Valkenburg does a lot better running against a guy next to him like Malcolm Kuntz. Maybe Isaiah plays with a Daron Harmon or a Jonathan, however they decide to do it, they're going to mix up the scheme this week and get guys in a multitude of positions. And that's what I'm excited for too, because you can mix and match these coverages. And that's what Patrick Graham is going to be looking forward to. Love DC forever, says defense. 559 in the house. Shout out to the 559. Van City says Raiders. Everybody's answering James with the Raiders. 604 in the building. Everybody, we still have holes and can use more depth. And we do. Look, and with Trayvon LeBlanc going down, this opens up a huge opportunity on the roster for a defensive back. Now, I know Wasted said tonight he's not all in on the whole fact of when teams start to release guys, and he's not into that whole scheme of doing things. However, I want to push back on that a little bit. I want you guys to rewind a year ago when the Carolina Panthers were where Denzel Perryman was buried on that depth chart and they didn't realize how much playing time he was actually going to get. He just wasn't a scheme fit for the Carolina Panthers. So they go out and they give out a 6th-round pick and they go get a Denzel Perryman who ends up having a Pro Bowl type of season. We all know that story. On the practice squad of the Chargers, Brandon Faison, he really came in for this cover 3 defense and really stepped up. So it's not that guys aren't talented just because they get released from an organization. Really, you guys, it could be a scheme fit, whether a team plays predominantly cover 2, cover 6, cover 4, when really the guy is built for, he's a long press man cover corner and he's just in a wrong system. Because look, let's face it, in the National Football League, there are people who run schemes that their players, they don't thrive. I mean, look at Paul Gunther. It happens every year with defensive staffs in the National Football League. And you're going to have guys get released and go on the open market that fits what the Raiders are doing much better than their former organization. So I'm actually okay. Look, if there's a long press man coverage corner and he's hitting, we preach it all the time over here on this channel, timing is absolutely everything. And say you just pick up this guy at the right time, he gets released, he finds a newfound fire, he gets with the Raiders organization, and he thrives in playing man coverage. I'm all for it. You got to turn over absolutely every rock in this organization, starting with Champ Kelly, Dave Ziegler, Josh McDaniels, Patrick Graham. These guys have lists of guys that maybe we don't all know about. Names that when we sign them, we're going to be like, oh, who's this guy? Is he a cut candidate? And you never know. He could carve out a significant role for himself. So I would stay patient, you guys, but the cornerback position is somewhere where I think what we're going to address and add somebody else. The offensive line will be interesting. I don't think that they're going to go out and get a guy like Darrell Williams. And I know Raider Nation might not like to hear that, but that's the truth. I think if they were going to go out to go get Darrell Williams, you would have seen him jump on him. And look, there's a reason why Darrell Williams is still out on the market, with everybody always clamoring, oh, Darrell Williams is still on the open market. There's a reason. He's probably asking for a ton of money. And if it's not a money situation, think there's 31 other teams outside of the Raiders that haven't touched him yet. So I would just be careful on that, and I would stay patient. I think that there's guys in-house, or maybe we can make a trade for somebody that's out on the market. So Chronicles of the Black Hole says, I would love to collab with you someday. And you will, OG. We will, brother. And look, I might open it up tonight, so we never know, okay? We never know. I just, it depends on my schedule. But OG, you are the OG, and I told you, man, where this ship goes, high tide raises all ships. I told you, brother, you're going to rise with me because I'm staying loyal to you, brother. You're my man. Everybody who's not subscribed to OG, go over and smash the subscribe button to OG Chronicles of the Black Hole. Look, if you're looking for history of the Raiders, it's going to be harder to find a better channel than him and Captain Jack. They really bring a knowledge of the history of the Raiders. And I like that because a guy that's so in tune with the modern NFL in this current roster, sometimes I like to go and revisit times past. Sean Johnson says backup. He is no starter. Thayer Mumford needs to develop. Absolutely. Thayer Mumford absolutely needs to develop. Darrell Williams has been thrown out as the best free agent who is a vet. What do you think about him, Ray? And we kind of just got into that. Look, he is a good player, decent in pass protection, can kick inside, can play outside. Would feel technically a need. And we don't even necessarily know that the right tackle is a need. Now, the right tackle is a question mark because we don't have an answer on who's going to really start at that position. Is it Alex Leatherwood? Is it Jermaine Illuminor? Are we kicking Alex inside? We just don't know yet how it's going to play out. It's looking right now that the coaching staff, they're giving Alex Leatherwood every shot to make that right tackle position. So we're going to see. I think if something were to happen to Alex Leatherwood, then you go out and make a move for a guy like Darrell Williams. I think that's the only way that Darrell Williams becomes a Raider is say something happens to Alex Leatherwood, Jermaine Illuminor, Colton Miller. Those guys, if they get beat up and injured, look for the Raiders to call Darrell Williams, and he's going to earn a decent bag. The tackle market is absolutely outrageous right now. I think Dwayne Brown, he's 36, and he's getting $11 million a year. He just signed this week, $11 million a year, you guys. So everybody that's on this train to go out and get Darrell Williams, you're going to pay him a pretty penny to come in here and just be a serviceable starter for you. So don't think he's going to come in here and be an all-pro right tackle. That's not the case. Seems like a defender was always in the backfield as soon as Jacobs got the handoff with the zone blocking. I agree. DK, that's a really good point. About 2 weeks ago, I was watching film about the zone blocking scheme last season, just how out of place guys felt. And it was just every time, by the time DC got the hand, Josh Jacobs had to make a guy or two miss in the backfield before he even got to the line of scrimmage. And if you notice in the last week of preseason game, these guys, that wasn't necessarily the case. These guys moved the line of scrimmage 2 to 3 yards off the ball. And it allowed Josh Jacobs to really get into the second level of the defense, which is where you want to see Josh get to, because he does a remarkable ability of shaking tackles. Josh is a really hard running back to bring down. So switching to this power gap scheme, it's going to benefit him mightily. I'm not going to lie. You two boys do need to link up again. Oh, Andy, are you talking about Andy? We'll definitely do that, bro. We're going to link up on Tuesday, Anthony. So stay tuned. All right. Howdy Nation. Good evening, Ray. GA Patriot in the house, boy. Oh, no. Anthony, Cruz lost. How did he lose? I missed the fight tonight, man. I've been preparing to go live, and I wanted to watch the fight tonight. Let me know how he lost. I would like that. That would take a big oven to cook Bam. You might have to pull out the smoker, son. Bam is the type you're going to have to cook him for a while. He's just not quite there yet, so you're going to have to pull out the smoker for Bam. He said, I may pop my live charity. Oh, Van City. I like it, boy. Well, hey, I would love that. So keep that in mind, because I'm probably going to open up the chat, man, and interact with some of the fans that we've built here, some of the family that we've got. Van City Raider about Robert Pena. I was getting a little concerned as well and didn't really see him in chats first half of the week, but saw him towards the end of the week, and he's been busy with the grandkids. Hey, Robert has hit me up, and Robert was commenting on my community post, and I think that he's going to show up. He just might show up later in the show, you guys. So I believe he's doing okay. So Palomali was playing a lot of deep single high safety. Yeah, he was, which is why, look, think of last season with Trayvon Martin. You really didn't hear of him until he was cleaning up a bad play. And I called him the magic eraser, because that's exactly what he did. He was so efficient at tackling. Trayvon Martin did phenomenal, especially as a rookie. Just such clean, efficient tackling. And that's a similar role that they had Isaiah playing. And it's pretty simplified. It doesn't ask him to do too much, so he can really make plays on the football. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it. I was getting a little bit concerned. Anthony says, no worry. Oh, man, we got one of Mount Shieldmore's. Oh, Hammer House. What is going on, brother? Hey, I might open up the chat later if you want to come on and talk. I haven't got to talk to you yet either. Talk to Andy. Gonna talk to Wasted. So, look, just slowly but surely intricating with you guys and communicating and bringing Raider Nation the best content possible. So, he says, salute Nation. Van City says, Hammer. Hammer says, what's good, Anthony? Vance City, Hammer, howdy, bro. Auntie says, Hammer, what's up, bro? Shout out to my big bro, Auntie 6. All right, we got another question, you guys. Ray, I don't think picking up guys cut by other squads is bad, and I agree. I do agree with Wasted that we shouldn't be waiting around for cuts. Agree. For cuts, if we have the need to fill, timing is everything. And yep, we've been preaching that over here on this channel, that timing is everything. And we kind of addressed it earlier, but I'll kind of backtrack. Look, when you're picking up guys, right? Scheme fit is absolutely everything. And so, like I said, if you're playing a predominant cover 2, cover 6, cover 4, cover 3, whatever it may be, and these guys just don't necessarily fit the scheme and they're built for a long press man corner cover style of defense, yeah, go grab those guys. And I'm sure, like I said, Patrick Graham, Dave Ziegler, Champ Kelly, these guys have a list of guys that me and you may not necessarily know that much about, but they have scouts that have covered their college tape where maybe they played predominantly press man, and they have their eye. Maybe they know that they're probably going to be released. And so when they are released, look for them to bring in. And nonetheless, you're bringing in competition. And that's what you're looking for at this point of the season. Bring in guys. So, and we've seen it. The Raiders addressed a cornerback. They brought in a corner this week. So obviously they're filling that need. Something amazing about this coaching staff, you guys, they're not panicking. Regardless if it's the right tackle position, the offensive line, the defensive back room, maybe the lack of depth when it comes to the edge rush position. These guys aren't panicking, and they're not going out and just throwing money at anybody who's a serviceable football player. They're going to take their time. They're going to assess this roster the right way, and they're going to give everybody the opportunity to compete and earn a spot moving forward. It says, thanks, Ray. Love DC4. No, not a problem. I'd rather have a fistful of decent proven guys than a single big name lineman. Absolutely. Absolutely, GA. And that's how good football teams are built. That's how you compete for championships. Dang, bro, I was joking. Thanks for the intro, but we will always be brothers in Christ. I was clowning. Yeah, I'll do. You already know we're brothers in Christ, man. We've had such good. Out of everybody, man, me and OG have spent a lot of time on the phone with each other and just developed a relationship. He's a fantastic guy. Uh, really supports Raiders content creators. Has a really good heart. If you guys aren't having, man, go subscribe to his channel. He says, thanks for the channel plug. All right, my boy, SC Experience in the building, man. I've been pulling up, showing his show some love, interacting with the chat there. SC, I appreciate you pulling up and giving me some of your time tonight, man. Tune in next week, and we might open up the panel tonight. So if Hammer wants to come on, if all these boys, if all y'all want to come on, we can fit as many as we want and just and talk about this Vikings game coming up and maybe some players that we're looking forward to. All right, Anthony with the update. Cruz was winning 2-1. Oh, wait. 2 through the rounds. Then ate a kick to the face in the fourth. Oh, ooh, I'm gonna have to go check that out, brother. I'm gonna have to go check it out. Raider Ross, salute Raider Ray. Shout out to you, Raider Ross. I appreciate you pulling up, man. What other fan base looks out for one another like that? It's crazy. I'm telling you, I was genuinely concerned about Rob. Yeah, bro, we got everybody's back, bro. Everybody's gonna keep updated. If we don't hear from our boys, hey, we know that something could be up. SC, what's good, young goat? Anthony says I like Cheeto though, good fighter. Yep. Sean O'Malley's got a big fight coming up, yo. Yeah, I think he bit off more than what he can chew. Pior Yon he's a dog. Robert says we'll do some shopping after the final cuts. We need 3 or 4 more guys, and we are going to do some shopping, which is why they're holding on to that money, I think. So we'll see. Everything's great, brother. Hope you're doing good too, brother. I think they're both ball good brain surgery, but love football too much. Salute. All right. So look, you guys were kind of caught up on the chat. Moving over into the edge position, there's a few guys that I want to look at, and really the defensive line on the interior. We need more push. I need guys like Neil Farrell Jr. to step up. Now, he did fight off a few double teams that I thought he did pretty good on, but overall, he needs to be a lot more consistent. Same with Matthew Butler. There was a few times where he did a few good techniques with his hands. And was able to create pressure from the inside. But, dude, we need it more consistently. Vernon Butler, another one of those guys. See, a lot of these guys were hit and miss when it came to their play. They had plays where they did good. And look, it's week 1 of the preseason, so these things are going to show up on film. But we really need a nose tackle to emerge, especially if we're going to play, this 3-4 front. Now, look, you guys, I'm really encouraged to see Patrick Graham this year and I'm looking forward to seeing what Patrick Graham is going to run this next game because he showed us so much in that first preseason game. 3-4, 4-3, big nickel, blitz packages. But the most intriguing package for me personally, you guys, is the 4-2-5. And I think that you're going to see the 4-2-5 package a lot with the Raiders this year, especially if they keep developing that defensive back room. You get bigger guys up front to get after the quarterback. You have 2 cover linebackers. Guys like a Divine Diablo, maybe a Denzel Perryman's obviously not a cover linebacker. Hopefully Jayon Brown can emerge as that. I know people were a little bit low on him this last preseason game. So Divine Diablo, Jayon Brown, guys like that, and then 5 defensive backs, obviously. 4-2-5 is one of those formations that the Raiders showed in that first preseason game, and I thought that they had actually a lot of success running it. So I'm excited to watch that. The 3-4 I kind of liked. You get some of those linebackers standing up on the edge. So guys like Zach Van Valkenburg, Jerry Green, Tayshawn Bauer, these are guys that want to step up because, look, a guy like Cleveland Farrell, he can't afford to miss any more practice, you guys. He just can't. Clee is not in the position when it comes to where he's at on this roster to be missing any more time. Now, I understand he's dealing with something, but I've got a lot of questions about Clee. Is this a guy that you potentially look to trade? Is there a team that's be willing to give up who doesn't have a good depth on their defensive line that would go out there and trade for Clee Farrell? Because, look, this guy right now, I mean, thankfully for him, outside of Malcolm Kuntz, that backup edge role is pretty wide open. It's one of the bigger competitions. I think the biggest competition on this entire roster, you guys, is the interior of this defensive line. The Raiders are literally begging somebody to emerge as that guy. So, and to get the best rotation of guys up front, because look, week 1 was not good enough. Week 1, we did not have good enough rotation. So I'm looking for that edge group. I'm still pulling for Zach Van Valkenburg. Love the motor that he plays with. A lot of you guys may not know this, but outside of Aiden Hutchinson, which was a first-round draft pick taken really early by the Detroit Lions, Zach Van Valkenburg was actually the second greatest run defender in college football last year at the edge position / outside linebacker. So keep an eye on him, especially when it comes to run defense. He showed up in the Jacksonville Jaguar game with run defense. So another intriguing guy. GA says we need to vacate that PUP list before we can really see what we have on the interior defensive line. And yeah, look, total between the PUP list and IR, we've got 8 guys already on there, you guys. So we do really need to see Big Hank and Bilal Nichols. I was open and honest at the beginning of the season. I don't really want to see Big Hank, but at this point, we kind of need to see him. I mean, Neil Farrell isn't quite where I want him to be right now. Jonathan Hankins is a proven veteran, and I think right now we could use him on the interior of the defensive line. Now, with the Raiders bringing in Danny Shelton last week for a workout, he went on to sign with the Chiefs. It goes to show you these guys are going to look for a true nose tackle. So I'm curious to see what Jonathan Hankins' injury's like. I've heard some reports through behind the scenes of some Raider content creators that he's doing okay. So I don't know what that actually means. Like, you're doing okay. Are you going to be ready to go week 1? I think they're going to take their time with Jonathan Hankins, which, I mean, if a guy emerges and you go and sign out a big nose tackle and Neil Farrell say he can develop by the 4th week of the preseason, does Jonathan Hankins make the roster? It's going to be a big question mark moving forward, you guys. Let's see. He needs to step up. That's why the Titans let him walk, and he does. He's coming off of injuries, guys. He's coming off of a pretty significant knee injury, which is actually why the Titans let him go. But that 2019-2020 season, he was able to do some pretty good things when it come to coverage. Speaking of Jayon Brown, by the way, for those who don't know. What do you think about the 3-3-5 Graham plays around with? It's another interesting formation, another really unique formation, and I need to go back and address the film before I give you an answer. I'm never going to sit here and act like I know what I'm talking about if I never went and addressed that scheme specifically. I did watch the 4-2-5, so I'm going to have to go watch the 3-3-5 GA, and I'll give you an update on what I think and maybe some players that can fit that scheme, if that helps you. He says Clee has given up, and I hate to say that he has, but you kind of get that feeling, right? We look at Big Hank and Bilal Nichols. Bilal Nichols is the one that I'm really intrigued about. Honestly, if he doesn't play preseason, I'm okay. And I know some of you guys might be like, Ray, what? Bilal Nichols is a pretty proven, good, versatile player. Honestly, I just want him healthy. Right now, the biggest thing that we're fighting with the interior of that defensive line is health. So let's get Bilal Nichols healthy and ready to go week 1, and then let him contribute and really work into his role. If he's not in the highest conditioning, it might be a guy that we need to rotate. Van City says, but we also need a defensive tackle. We kind of talked about that. Anthony says, I didn't see anything that impressed me about Jayon Brown in last game. And you're right. He didn't jump off the screen to me as well either. I just want to see him in more of a coverage situation. They were running the football quite a bit at Jayon Brown, and that's not where he thrives, right? Divine Diablo is a much better run defender than what Jayon Brown is. But on 3rd down is where I think Jayon Brown is really going to make his money. I think he has good coverage ability if his knee is 100%, and that's something I don't know. James Furpo says, I don't know who's watching football here, playing both LA teams. My point is, I don't know if the Bolts are doing good or the Rams are really, really bad. They both suck. James, shut that thing off. Raider A, defensive tackle is probably the weakest on the team, and 2nd, probably right tackle. 3rd, maybe linebacker depth. Yeah, I would kind of say that. I would kind of agree with that. Linebacker and defensive back, I think you could put a slash in there and put both of those. Defensive tackle, though, arguably, you guys, without Bilal Nichols, Big Hankins, I'm going to keep it a buck with you guys because I always do. It's among the worst unit in the National Football League if we're going into week 1. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not too thrilled about what I see on film right now. Now, they have 3 weeks to develop and for guys to emerge, but I'm not thrilled about the interior of this defensive line. Bilal Nichols needs to get healthy and maybe add another good, solid veteran. Sheldon Richardson's out on the open market. That's another space eater type of guy that I wouldn't mind taking a look at. There's going to be some guys that in the upcoming weeks that we're going to go out and grab. I'm still scared about our defense. Ziegler needs to solidify it. Again, specifically on the interior of the defensive line and the edge rush group. I think we got to create the opportunity for guys to get out there and get after the quarterback. That's where I'm at. But you guys, we're not seeing our 2 premier edge rushers and then operate a Malcolm Kuntz in there. a lot of blitz packages, getting guys after the quarterback. Denzel Perryman, I think, is going to be good at blitzing. Like, there's still a lot of things to unravel for this defense, so I wouldn't panic quite yet. But yeah, we could always add some depth. I agree, Van City. Let's see. Let's see if we got a good question. And first off, look, 25 of you in the chat, man, go smash the like button. We should have 25 plus likes. I highly appreciate it, you guys. All right. So Van City says, I think that our CB room is going to be sneaky good. And I think they're going to be a lot better than what people are giving us credit for. I agree. I agree a lot with that. None of us know what is going on with Mullen. And Mullen needs to get healthy. Look, but I do think that people forget how good Mullen is when he's in and playing good press man coverage at the line of scrimmage. I like Mullen. I just don't like his injury. He's also turned into this. I don't even want to really get into it, y'all. Off the field, he's kind of switched up, right? He's into this being on boats and being with his girls, and I just want his brain to be all in on football. I mean, you've earned the kind of lifestyle that you got, but when you got a room of guys like Rock Ya-Sin and Nate Hobbs and Anthony Avery, these are true professionals. These are guys that show up and they're all ball. Trayvon, you could have all the talent, natural talent in the world, but if you're not in shape and your focus is on getting all the girls on the boat, bro, you're gonna slit, and you're not gonna find a role on this roster. I'm just saying. So we'll see. GA says, "What's up with Phylon? Is he not healthy? Phylon is dealing with a weight. He needs to get his weight down, and also the last time I heard, he is still recovering a little bit from the knee injury. So I do think that he should be able to go later. I would say if you want to go get him, I would go get him probably week 4 through week 8 and bring him in on a cheap deal and really fulfill some depth. But I've heard a few different mixed things. I don't want to let out too much of what I heard because I don't want to lose that insight. But he's still dealing with little things. He has to get his weight down. Coming off of a surgery like that, you guys, you put on weight, and there's teams out there that want him to get his weight down. So that's all I'll say about that. GA says, everyone hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Look, we're going to push over 700 today. Hobbs is the only CB that actually at practice, at least. And Nate Hobbs is out here. Look, you guys, Nate Hobbs is an absolute animal. Zone, man, I don't care where it is. This year, you're gonna line him up against the best wide receivers on offenses, and you're gonna go tell him to cover him the entire football game. The work that he's getting with Devontae Adams is absolutely special. This kid's working, man. He's taken this offseason and improved his craft. This guy is going to be the Raiders' #1 corner. So it gives guys like Rock Ya-Sin and Anthony Averett to really find their role. Now, look, that doesn't mean taking him out of the nickel is a bad thing. You put your best cover corner on the outside, okay? And say we line up and we play a Cooper Cup or a situation like that. Then go ahead and kick the all-pro nickel DB back inside. All this is doing, you guys, is benefiting the Raiders' defensive back room, making them much more versatile. And Nate Hobbs' game is just inclining. That's the only thing that's happening playing on the outside. He plays with good leverage, plays with good hand technique. I love Hobbs on the outside. He's the Raiders' best DB by far. And he's going to have a huge, huge season. Pay your tab and support Ray's work. Doesn't cost you a penny. I appreciate that, GA. You guys go show some love and support. Ray, I never asked you. Nation been hyped up about matchup of Carr and Adams. Would you like them to for one drive in the preseason? To be honest with you, obviously, as a fan of the Raiders, I would obviously say, yeah, I'd love to go out there and see it. But there's something about keeping this. The Raiders have created a vibe about this football team that I almost want to keep this present concealed until week 1 of kickoff. I think that there's going to be something, and not only what we're looking at as a fan base, make no mistake about it, there's 31 other teams looking at the Raiders saying they're going to be sneaky good. And I want everything wrapped up in that gift box, right? I want everything hidden before week 1. And then when that primetime game gets announced and we're going up against the Chargers and we're coming off of a week 17 game where we canceled them out of the playoffs and you're going to have all this energy, Khalil Mack joining the Chargers. I want this to be a concealed gift. And I want to see Derek Carr out there for the first time, making changes at the line of scrimmage. I want teams not having a clue what Devontae Adams is going to do because, look, he's going to attack you in a multitude of ways. I want all that stuff to be displayed on week 1 because I could see Derek Carr go out there and throw 3 to 4 touchdowns. That game is going to be a high-scoring game, Raider Nation, and I'm extremely fired up about it. I think the NFL does a remarkable job at matchmaking, and that is going to be an electrifying Week 1 opener. Look, Raider Nation, keep this thing under wraps. Josh McDaniels is going to keep this thing under wraps. You kind of got a hint of that in the press conference this week when he comes out and he's like, hey, look, Devontae and Derek Carr will be there at the game. And he kind of chuckled and laughed about it. But keep this show under wraps a little bit. This is one that September 11th, buy your ticket and let's tune in to see the Raiders show. Don't give anybody anything this preseason. You've got joint practices coming up, okay? And you're going to get more coming out of those joint practices than these guys will get in a preseason game anyways. So keep this show under wraps. Keep Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, Devontae, Hunter, Darren. Let them all sit. Let them all sit and let them get a ton of reps when it comes to practice. Raider Ray, you think Kenyon Drake needs to bring it? Probably Amir Abdullah will steal his spot. Could Kenyon Drake, along with Cleve Farrell and Trayvon Martin, all be trade bait? I'm not going to say that they're all trade bait, but they're all in that discussion that if a team called and asked for the services of any of those guys, I think if you're the Raiders organization, you have to listen. And I'm going to be honest, if I'm Dave Ziegler and I'm sitting there in the office and somebody calls me about Cleve Farrell and is willing to give me some defensive back depth or a defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman who's a decent, serviceable starter, I'm listening to it. As far as Kenyon Drake, look, I understand he's coming off of that ankle injury and mentally he's just not shaking it. And you can kind of tell in his game. Amir Abdullah, a guy I've also been extremely high on this offseason, and it's cool to see these guys really come into everything I've been saying this entire offseason about him. Amir Abdullah is going to compete, and a matter of fact, he's going to carve out a spot on this Raiders offense. I see Amir Abdullah making the roster. If Josh McDaniels is true on his word, which I do think that he is, the best players are going to make this 53-man roster. And right now, let's just face it, Amir Abdullah is showing he's a better option right now. So let's see if he can consistently do it over the next course of the next 3 weeks. You guys, let me address these comments, and then I want to talk about that specific position with you guys real quick because I have some interesting takes to bring to you guys tonight. I agree with Ray. Don't unwrap this gift before week 1. The waiting sucks, but it's going to be worth the wait. And just think about it, you guys. Come September 11th, me, you, Van, the entire nation, right? We're going to be tuning into this game on primetime television, fired up. Like when they're doing these intros and you see Devontae Adams on primetime football for the first time, looking clean in that silver and black, out there in pregame warmups. I mean, the energy, the momentum, I think it bodes the Raiders best to hold all this in until week 1 because it just gives you that much momentum moving forward. And it's just going to be – I think that we're in for such a special season, you guys. I really, truly do. And to see them all there week 1 and the hype and Josh McDaniels down on the sidelines getting fired up, he has this calm fire about him. If you guys see, I've got the Al Davis torch burning because we're opening up the home opener. And every home opener, I'm going to be burning the Al Davis themed torch back here in the back. And Josh McDaniels just has this quiet fire about him, this poised passion. And I can't wait to see him on the sideline and Josh Jacobs. And I'm so fired up, you guys. Chandler Jones and Max Crosby. I'm so fired up to see Max Crosby. I think he's going to explode onto the season. All right. I have to get into what I want to say so I don't forget it, you guys. I've got it written down over here. Okay, so speaking about the running back room, we were talking about Amir Abdullah, right? And it had me looking not only at the names, but I started to take a look at the coaching staff, okay? And we brought over Kennedy Palomalu, and he was the running backs coach with the Vikings. So the team we're going to be playing tomorrow, he was the running backs coach for 5 seasons with them. And look, this guy's track record is actually remarkable. And I'm going to educate you guys a little bit on what Kennedy Palomalu brings to the Raiders running back room and why I'm so fired up about what these guys can do as a complete unit moving forward into the season, okay? So look, in 2017, Cook was lost after week 4 with a knee injury. Okay, but Palomalu led McKinnon and Murray to 1,400 yards and 11 rushing touchdowns with a combined. Murray had 842 yards and 8 touchdowns. McKinnon had 574 and 3. In 2018, Cook got injured again with his knee, but he split reps with Latavius Murray, was still able to put up over 1,000 yards. Now, this is where it gets interesting. In 2019, Cooks was healthy, put up 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, which intrigues me a lot about what he could do with a guy like Josh Jacobs in this running back room. 2020 led Cook to 1,557 yards and 16 touchdowns. Second straight Pro Bowl season. 2021, he sent Dalvin Cook to his third straight season of 1,000 plus yards. Alexander Mattison also had a career high of 491 yards and combined between the two running backs, 66 receptions. So this is a guy who understands how to use the running backs. And Amir Abdullah was over there in Minnesota with Coach Palomalu, which is why I believe Amir Abdullah is going to come in and play Minnesota Vikings hard and aggressive. And I think of the running backs, Zamir White and Abdullah are going to be the guys who steal the show tomorrow. Those guys are going to have really, really big days, and I'm really fired up to see it. Amir Abdullah is one of those guys I really love. I love his style. I love how he plays. He loves football. Just really excited about this running back unit and a guy like Coach Palomalu who's going, to be playing his former team. I'm really excited. I'm fired up about tomorrow's game, you guys. I think there's going to be a lot of cool things displayed when it comes to film. And we'll address the Vikings side of it too, because there's some matchups when it comes to Vikings personnel that I'm looking forward to going against the Raiders defense. GA says, facts, Ray. McDaniels is even telling the guys not to talk about each other in an interview. Nobody gets a sneak peek. No. And we're not pulling the Hollywood show. We're not dropping the entire show in the trailers before we even go see the movie. Matter of fact, we're just dropping the autumn wind. That's what we're doing. If the Raiders organization right now, it just feels like there's a black screen, they hit play, and it's the autumn wind playing. And that's all 31 other teams see right now, is they hear that theme and they know that the Raiders are coming. I want to keep this thing completely black screen until week 1 of September 11th. And I think the Raider Nation is going to explode onto the scene. Willie Wayne in the building. Shout out to you, Willie Wayne. I appreciate you for pulling up. If Abdullah makes it, Drake won't. And look, Drake is competing for a roster spot. I know he has a lot of allocated money, but look, if you trade Kenyon Drake this season, you save a cap space of $2.75 to close to $3 million, and you have to eat $1.1 million in dead cap this season. And then the following year, you guys, you have about $3 million, $4 million worth of dead cap hit. Honestly, if you're talking about putting the best roster on the table, if that means Amir Abdullah makes it, I'm willing to move on from Kenyon Drake, maybe get some draft capital, maybe make a trade player for player swap with a team that wants it and would be able to pay him and have the money to do that. I'm okay with the cap hit. I don't think we're in bad cap space position by any means. I'm willing to eat that money if that means that a better running back gets put into that mix. I need Crosby to take care of Slater during week 1. Oh, dude, between Chandler Jones and Max Crosby, the Chargers got a tough lineup. We got a tough lineup too. They got a decent offensive line, so it's going to be a really, really good game. Van City says, do you think Josh plays again tomorrow? I do. I think he gets some reps. I think Josh Jacobs is going to get some reps. How will Brian Asamoah and Stingley do against us tomorrow? And that's interesting because I'm going to bring up another point, okay? I'm really interested to seeing this defensive back room from the Minnesota Vikings because they're pretty young and going up against veteran wide receivers of the Raiders. I know the Vikings community was talking about, oh, this is a huge opportunity to see what these young guys have, but I would kind of play devil's advocate a little bit, and I would say that the Raiders are actually the one to benefit from this. I think that Mac Hollins, we have a wide receiver room right now competing for spots, and they're all established veteran players. Tyron Johnson, Mac Hollins, Keelan Cole, Demarcus Robinson. You go down the line, and these guys are established veteran players that have contributed to the National Football League. So these young guys tomorrow, the wide receivers have matchups. So I'm looking for Jared Stidham to get throwing the ball as well a little bit early. We're going to obviously continue to address the run game. Coach Brasillo, Josh McDaniels, they want to make sure those guys up front are prepared for week 1 to run the football and to be aggressive with it, because I think that that's how we're going to attack the Chargers come week 1, a lot more so than what a lot of Raider Nation may think. But make no mistake about it, I think that what the wide receivers have a real opportunity. Look, somebody has to emerge. Last week, Tyron Johnson really brought the juice. He brought the energy. To me personally, you guys, he was the guy who looked like wanted it more. I just feel like Tyron Johnson wants that spot more than other guys, and he just brings a juice, a passion, a swagger. He brings electricity to it, man. He showcases that 4.3 speed, the ability to get behind defenses, which is what you're looking for when you at this time of season when you turn on the game film. Mac Hollins, he really needs to step up. Look, you can do anything well in practice. You could be the great practice player, but if you can't translate that over into the games, look, I'm really not that interested. I'm not that intrigued, to be real with you. Mac Hollins really needs a big game, and going against these young rookie defensive backs of the Vikings, this is his opportunity to show what he could do. Mac Hollins, out of all the wide receivers, I think he needs to have the biggest game. I don't think he's going to have the biggest game, but he needs the biggest name because he needs to do something to separate himself from this wide receiver pack a little bit. Demarcus Robinson, I think, has a real opportunity to have a big day. Keelan Cole as well, attacking the sidelines, attacking the middle of the field. Look for that tomorrow. I'm this wide receiver room, look, these wide receiver veterans, this is the week to step up and kind of create a topic of conversation that you're emerging as the guy. Right now, you guys, it's Tyron Johnson's job to lose. That's how I personally feel. That's not to say that it's just going to be Tyron Johnson's spot. I think you're obviously going to see rotation of guys, Keelan Cole, Demarcus Robinson. But really, to me, you guys, Demarcus Robinson and Mac Hollins are really in a competition with one another. One of those two dudes have to emerge from each other and separate from the pack. Drake's contract is not team friendly. We got to pay him 3 years, whether he plays or not. Agreed. But thankfully, that cap number goes down into like $4 million to $2 million over the next 2 seasons. And if you're able to trade him, you're actually able to save $2.75 million this year with 1.1 in dead cap hit. I need a drink, you guys. Hold up. Whew. Okay. Anthony says our Raiders are going to smack the Chargers. Let's hope so. Anthony says, yeah, I was wondering why Jacobs was out there so much. Maybe some of us from the nation, including myself, should not stop getting on Jacobs for always getting hurt. Like no dub, but then the coach. But look, that's why he's getting reps, is because you're mimicking the season. You're getting his body adjusted and allocated. A lot of times when these runners don't get reps in preseason, they go into week 1 and they carry the ball 28 times, and we wonder why come week 4 they're beat up. That's why, because their body took so much damage on that first month that now they're kind of playing catch up for the rest of the season. Get these guys' bodies acclimated to receiving contact. GA says 1 catch for -1 yards. Don't forget, and a penalty. It's not going to cut it. It's not. And I said it this entire offseason. Mac Hollins just does not separate himself enough for me. Nothing in his skill set does. You can talk about being a practice squad player. I think Tyron Johnson's a better special teams player. He's an okay route runner. Keelan Cole can do that. You guys, Mac Hollins, for me, he doesn't separate himself. We're going to make an example out of him and put the league on notice who's running it in the West. Truth on that running backs comment. Josh Jacobs going into week 1. Yeah, can't have Josh. Look, and if you give him reps over the next of these 4 preseason games, probably that 4th preseason game, they're going to have him hold off. If he does not get any reps in preseason, I would imagine it might be that 4th one. But I do expect Josh to get reps this entire preseason. And why not, right? Get his body acclimated and comfortable. And they're taking a different, unique approach with Josh Jacobs, right? They're getting him used to contact, something that Gruden didn't do in times past. And excuse me. And you get him ready. You get him ready to go. And going into week 1, he's already used to contact. He's already used to being physical runner, getting up into the second level, putting his head down and being aggressive. I think that this is the best possible situation for Josh Jacobs moving forward. Will Brandon also be running back? If you're talking about Brandon Bolden, yes, he will. He will also make the roster. So you guys, some things I wanted to talk about when it came to matchups, when it came to the Vikings aspect. And then we're going to open up the live. I want to talk to some people tonight. So Van City, if you're still in the chat, brother, if you want to come on, OG, like I'm just going to drop the stream and I'm going to talk to people. If Hammer's in the building, whoever's in here, y'all, we're going to have a good conversation tonight. But when it comes to matchup, you guys, Kellen Mond, a 3rd-round draft pick, really athletic. And the reason why I want to see Kellen Mond go against this Raiders defense, I want to see how this is going to be one of those examples, Raider Nation, when I was telling you that the Raiders look more prepared than usual under Josh McDaniels. And with a mobile quarterback like a Kellen Mond, I want to see the gap discipline of this Raiders defense. I want to see guys stay disciplined in their assignments, communication, and I want to see how good they react to going against a quarterback when the offensive play breaks down a little bit and he starts scrambling around. The Raiders have struggled with scrambling quarterbacks in times past, and I'm curious to see if Patrick Graham has an answer for that, creating good contain and setting really good edges this game. So I'm curious to see what the Raiders defense does with a guy that's as athletic as Kellen Mond. And look, if you can take away the ability to scramble and for him to create plays with his legs and force Kellen Mond to throw the football, I think you're giving the Raiders defense a big possibility of creating turnovers this game, which is something that you want to see if you're a Raiders fan. Also, the Vikings offensive line is a big question mark right now. I'm curious to see how good Malcolm Kuntz goes up against an established left tackle and Christian Darrisaw. I think that's going to be a phenomenal matchup for you guys to watch. If you're a fan of offensive defensive line drills, watch Malcolm Kuntz go against Christian Darrisaw and then get kicked over to the right side and play against Brian O'Neill, a guy who I think Malcolm Kuntz should have a lot of success against. Center Garrett Bradbury, he's a big question mark for the Vikings right now. They don't know what they have in him. So if there is a game for the Raiders interior defensive line to get some push, this is the one to see. Let's see if somebody can emerge, really take it to the depth of this Vikings offensive line and see if this defensive unit can have a big showing. If the defense can come out here and have a good game against the Vikings, I feel pretty good moving forward because the Vikings are going to run the football. They have an athletic quarterback that's going to get a lot of snaps tomorrow. Depending on how the Raiders handle the Vikings offense tomorrow, I think you're going to get a good indication of, okay, this Raiders defense is prepared. They understand how to prepare for an offense. There's going to be a lot of questions answered for me personally tomorrow. So James Oliver says, can't wait for our red zone passing situations. No passing touchdowns last game. And when you're speaking even offensively, let's talk about week 1, September 11th. If you guys haven't, I would highly recommend you guys to go watch the interview, Bussin' with the Boys with Darren Waller. He came out and did an interview, and he really addressed a lot of things, right? Talking about the red zone of John Gruden's red zone offense. And he was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, what are we doing? And that's not going to be the case with Josh McDaniels. You're going to see Darren Waller have the most red zone targets he's ever had in his career. This is going to be a huge, huge season for Darren Waller, which is I'm completely okay with him not practicing right now because that boy's going to get a lot of work this year and we need him to stay healthy. So whether it's a contract issue, look, I've come on air and said many times, pay Waller, pay that man, give him his money. I don't care what it costs. You add another year onto it. You could do a 3-year, $30 million extension where that final third year he's getting paid 15 to 17 million. And then you just add on 10 million to each of the next 2 seasons. I'm okay with that. You can do that. You can adjust that money financially that way if you add on another year to the contract. So I want Darren Waller to get utilized a lot more in the red zone, and I think he is. I think these tight ends as a whole, Foster Moreau is going to get a big jump in red zone targets, much like his rookie year, I think, that 5 to 8 range. Darren Waller is going to get utilized. Devontae Adams, probably the best red zone threat. Hunter Renfrow, look, you guys, you have a multitude of red zone weapons, and Josh McDaniels is one of the most creative red zone play callers that we've seen in the league in the last 30 years, probably. So when it comes to red zone efficiency, I'm pretty confident. I'm honestly not even that worried. I think you're going to see a ton of red zone success. I think the Raiders are going to do a good job moving the football and then capitalizing on not settling for field goals, but punching it in for a touchdown. Jacobs doesn't get going until he's been hit a few dozen times. So get it out of the way early. I'm nervous to pull up for the first time. You know football way better than I do. I mean, I want to. I'm just nervous. Dude, don't even worry about it, bro. You just bring up conversation and we'll talk. This is family, bro. This isn't about I know more than you, you know more than me. That's not what this is about. We're talking Raiders. We're talking about things that we're excited about. And, dude, I'd love to have you on. You know what I mean? I always show support to you. You've always shown love to me. You should not feel any type of nervousness, right? The family's family. So, Raider Nation, if you're enjoying the show, 25 of you, go smash the like button. Let me know down in the comment section. Are you guys enjoying today's show? Do you guys want me to open up the panel and see who we can bring on? You know, this thing's like a mystery box every week, right? We open up the stream. People start to pull up. Content creators start to pull up. Fans of the show start to pull up. Fans of Raider Nation and other people's chats start to pull up. You never know what this show is going to turn into, which makes it unique and special. So let me know. Are you guys enjoying the show? Smash the like button and let me know down in the comment section below. I think I'm going to drop the link and I'm going to open it up for some discussion. So, Raider Nation, please tell me if you are enjoying the show. I'm about to drop the invite. Copied. Sean Johnson says, yes, you are doing great. I appreciate that, brother. That's what this is all about. Yeah, and GA, look, you're right. Gruden always seemed to be surprised, even to be in the red zone. It was like there was no plan at all. He had a bunch of really good ideas to move the football. I think John Gruden moved the football really well. He really did a good job of designing plays to get guys open. It was when he finally got down into the red zone, he's like, okay, now what do I? It's like everything of his skill set got thrown out of the window. I don't understand it. But look, that's not going to be the case with Josh McDaniels. I can almost guarantee you that. So, Raider Nation, I opened up the StreamYard, okay? Bugsy says 100. He's loving the show. And I love that picture, by the way. That's kind of funny. Raider Ray has dropped a StreamYard. Look, if anybody wants to pull up, tonight is the night to pull up and let your voice be heard. Van City, OG, Hammer, SC. I don't care who's in there. I want to talk to my family. I want to talk to my people. So everybody, if you want to go hit up Andy, hit up whoever you guys want and let them know that you're live with Raider Ray right now and he's opened up the StreamYard and you guys want us to talk and we'll make it happen. Like I said, man, we're like a mystery box over here. But next week, let me reiterate with you guys. Next week, we're going to have Andy back on the show. We're going to bring you guys that. I think you guys really enjoyed that. We're going to have Raid the Tape on. So we're going to have a heavy, look, if this was a UFC fight, look, this is like 4th of July weekend. We're bringing out heavy hitters. It's going to be a stacked main event card. We're bringing you all the big names. So you're going to want to tune into Raider Ray next week and make sure you guys hit the post notification icon. That way you guys don't miss us going live. Sean Johnson says, did you see the playoff prediction thing I sent earlier? Guys have us investing in Rams in the Super Bowl. I didn't get to see that quite yet. I'm going to address this one chat, and then we got somebody making his debut onto live shows, so I'm excited to have him on here. Victor says, Raider Ray, you're growing, my man. I see your subs going up. Keep up the good work, bro. What player are you looking forward to watching? If I have to limit it down to one player, I'm probably going to be honest and say Jermaine Illuminor. I just think right now with the need on the offensive line, I think Jermaine Illuminor just brings something that the Raiders need, and I think he is the answer, and I think he's going to – Raider Nation is going to learn to love this guy. So, man, we got two guys lined up in the background. Boogie says, oh, you're collaborating with Raid 2. Big up. So, look, without further ado, Raider Nation, my brother who has been so loyal, so committed to the show, Van City. Oh, he just backed out. I'm going to bring on Avakazi. Avakazi, my brother, how are you doing?
How are you, brother Ray? Chat, how are you, everyone? Just on the hop at the moment, so I'll just pull up real quick. I just wanted to come in and just say hello and, give my 2 cents on whatever you guys are talking about.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to have you on here. We actually got Van City on here for the very first time. So shout out to you, Van City. What's good, my man?
Good, Raider.
Hey, Van City. How are you, brother?
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Just enjoying the sunshine out in Vancouver, Canada here.
Oh, is that where you're at? Is that in Canada?
Van City Raider, man. Vancouver.
Van City.
Dude, I love it. I love it, bro.
You got 3 continents in the building, Ray?
Dude, Raider Nation's all over the globe, bro. I love this. And then we pull up and we're all one family, man.
You have no idea. Sure. I see Raider fans this freaking country.
Oh, really?
I'm like 2.5 hours away from Seattle, right? So
okay. All right, bet. So, you guys, tomorrow, what are you looking forward to the Vikings and Raiders game? Are there some positions? Are there some players in particular that you're looking forward to? What are you looking forward to when the Raiders take on the Vikings tomorrow?
I want to see Matthew Butler really come out and shine. I'm really about the tackle spot. I'm not as nervous as everybody else is when it comes to the cornerback room. I think Hobbs is going to be great. I think if you slide him outside, you can slide Averett inside and have Hobbs and Yasin on the corners, and I think it's going to be solid.
What about you, Avakazi?
I honestly don't really care much for the result of the game. I mean, it's always nice to get a win, but it's more about the competition. Competition at every position, because that's what it is. I mean, quarterback, there's competition. I mean, we still don't really know who the solidified backup to Derek Quarter is. So that's something to keep an eye on. The wide receiver room, whoever's going to be gunning for that 4th and 5th spots on the roster, that's still wide open. I mean, Ty Johnson had himself a game last week. We discussed that between us two, and yeah, that's going to be another battle that's going to be very interesting. Even the backup tight end role, that number 3 tight end. I mean, that hasn't been solidified yet. No one's really put their stamp on that position. So that's what I'm most looking forward to for the game. It's just the competition at every position, see who can earn their roster spot or take that next step to earn their spot.
And to piggyback off of what you were talking about at the quarterback position, I think Jared Stidham did a pretty good job last week. Now, if you're asking me, I think Chase Garbers, I want to see him get the backup reps this week behind Jared Stidham. I know last week we went with Nick Mullen. This week I want to see Chase Garbers get some more reps. I thought he was pretty creative with his legs. For a rookie, he looked pretty poised. He looked confident in the pocket, throwing the football. And on plays where he could have freaked out and just got reckless with the football, he did a good job of just taking the sack, getting down, and moving on to the next play. For a rookie, I think he actually showed quite a bit, and I'm really intrigued moving forward, even into the next few years. If you can stash this guy on the practice squad, if you can kind of keep him protected and let Josh McDaniels develop him in the system, you're talking about a guy who has really sneaky under the radar kind of legs and create plays with his legs, but also has a pretty solid arm. So obviously not this season. This is Derek Carr's team for the next few years to come. But moving forward, I'm really encouraged to see the development of a guy like Chase Garbers.
Yeah, I think Garbers is a good candidate to keep on that practice squad. I don't really necessarily want him as our backup, at least for this year, but as someone we can develop for the future, then I'd be okay with it. I'll tell you another guy I want to see getting higher reps is, I don't know if you talked about him already, Bam Olaseni. He only had 2 series, I believe, towards the end of last week, but those 2 series he took the field, he looked very, very violent, especially in run blocking, and I want to see more of him taking higher reps. So
it's the run blocking, and I think that on this channel I've been a big guy on Bam Olaseni. I've never said he's going to flat out come out and just steal the show and make the 53-man roster, but it's a guy to look at for the practice squad who just has unnatural raw talent, right? He's 6'9", 350, the longest tackle in all of football. And I kind of talked about it, brother, about Trent Brown actually played guard in college. And you could take a guy like Bam Olaseni. Now, Bam is really going to have to work on his pad level if they were to kick him inside to, say, like left guard. It's preseason, so you can kind of experiment, and I want to see where Bam can fit in. So I wouldn't mind seeing Bam actually get kicked into left guard and play with really good pad level, because I think when you're talking about the running game, he could really create some huge monster running lanes for the running backs. So I would keep an eye on Bam, not only to get left tackle reps, but I'd be curious to see if the Raiders would be confident enough to move him on the inside. Van City, what's going on? I'm glad that you came on here for the first time, boy. I'm fired up about it. How's your wife doing?
She's good, man. We had that ultrasound appointment on Tuesday. And yeah, my having a little boy, so I'll have 2 boys here at Christmas time. Looking forward to it. I'm nervous. About us and Father. Yeah. Looking forward to.
I want to be nervous, brother. You're gonna do great. I'm having my first baby boy February, so I'm fired up about it. Got a little my daughter is a little Raider fan. When it comes to game day, she's always sitting on my shoulders. She's like, Raiders. So we're gonna have my little boy doing the same thing, man. The wife is a Colts fan because we're here in Indiana, and so there's a natural feud that brews in this house. So
do we play them this season?
Yeah, we do actually. They're at home against the Raiders in Vegas.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right, because Unique was talking about it, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was at the game. I was at the game last year where the Raiders beat the Colts.
Wow!
Yeah, and that was a fantastic game. That was a really good.
That was the John Madden game, wasn't it?
Yep, it sure was. Yeah. So Daniel Kim says Illuminor is definitely going to be our swing tackle. I'm excited to see who's going to be our CB2 and slot. I'm thinking CB1 Rock Ya-Sin, CB2 Nate Hobbs, slot Averett, CB4 is going to be Robertson. And I kind of like that entire lineup, to be honest with you. CB4, though, that's up in the air. I hope Amit can emerge and kind of earn that spot, right?
For sure.
But a guy like Darius,
he needs to earn it in preseason. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Cut bait. Get rid of him. He's had his time.
Exactly. Because he's
going to take the NFL by storm this year.
Oh, yeah. Hobbs will. That CB4, though, we're creating such competition, dude. I think Darius Phillips is really going to push a guy like a Meek. And look, Darius Phillips being 6 foot, he's a good tackler. I think he's a pretty decent scheme fit. He's created turnovers in the National Football League before. I think Darius Phillips is a little bit ahead of a Meek right now. You can kick down Avery into the slot. He's a guy with 4.3 speed. And I like your 1 and 2 lineups. I'd probably say Hobbs is definitely CB1 for sure.
I'll tell you another position of competition that's interesting to keep an eye on. I don't think too many people did in that first game, but I did because I did a piece on that guy, Luke Masterson, just out of left field before the game. And that was actually turned out to be a sneaky, interesting competition from that first game. It was him and Darian Butler shared the field for at least 2 quarters. Darian Butler got extended time into the 4th quarter. Now, the whole hype in camp was Darian Butler was the guy. He ended up not having that great of a game.
Dude, I wasn't that fired up about it. Yeah.
And but Luke Masterson turned out, if you watched him, he actually had a sneaky good game. So that's a competition to keep an eye on, just because that linebacking depth core is a little thin. So
I think if you ask me, Luke Masterson actually played better than Darian Butler. To be honest, I mean, I know a lot of people might disagree with me with that, but
I don't.
I think Luke outplayed him. So we can see moving forward. But
he actually was the general. Actually, like there was 1 or 2 plays which there's small details, but it really stood out to me was before the snap on one particular play, Darian Butler seemed lost, and he was about to come out and try and take that middle zone, and Luke Masterson had to step over, push him out, push him back out, and point to him. No, you're there. I'm here. Yeah, I like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. You need that from a middle linebacker, someone who knows where players are supposed to be in that. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
No, dude, you're good. SC experience says watching the tape, they did do a decent job. Got to see it more in depth, and overall, I'm liking what I see. And I agree. Look, there's a lot of guys that moving forward, they have to consistently put these things on tape, SC. And SC, look, if you're wanting to come in and chat too, brother, I can drop the link again if you have time and you just want to pull up and talk for a little bit. We won't be live too long tonight, but I just wanted to get on here and address everybody. I think it was awesome. Van City's coming on here, talking with us. It's good to put a face to it. He came on and supported me. So look, SC, if you want to come on and join us, you're more than welcome to. Debo says, Van, congrats to you and your wife. And yeah, they were talking about, hey, look, we're forgetting about Trayvon Mullen. And I've been a guy who's advocated for Trayvon. Now, look, he has to stay healthy. He has to prove it to us, right? He has to get over this injury. But I think Raider Nation does tend to forget how good of a press man corner this guy is. He plays really well at the line of scrimmage. And if he can come in, I think our defensive back room is actually in a pretty good situation. If Trayvon is completely healthy, you've got a Nate Hobbs, a Rock Ya-Sin, Anthony Averett. You're talking about a pretty solid in the upper echelon, I think, of cover corners.
We just need 2 of those guys to pop. I mean, Nate Hobbs should be the guy that pops. But if we can get Rock Ya-Sin, Averett, and or Mullen to play reasonably well, I think we'll be in a good position at our CB and secondary. On that note, I'm going to get going. Thanks for having me, Raider Ray. I really appreciate you letting me come in and share my 2 cents. Van City, nice to meet you. Congratulations on your impending child. And, chat gang, if you haven't already, check my boy here, Raider Ray, like, follow, and subscribe and all that. So
I actually
appreciate you, man. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the flip side. Go Raiders.
You, brother.
Man, I appreciate that guy. He's such a good dude. I like him a lot.
Your first ever live.
Your first ever live, bro. Were you on? How long have you followed this channel? You've been around for quite a minute, bro.
Since the beginning, almost, I would say.
Yeah.
I think you had 100 subscribers at the time, I think. I was going to say, I think the 2 players on the defensive side of the ball that I'm the most looking forward to this season, both going into their sophomore years, is Murig and Hobbs. And I just think both of them are just going to have breakout years.
Oh, dude. Trayvon Martin is one of those guys. I've got this autographed Max Crosby jersey. I've got another one of Trayvon Martin, and I have a hard time fitting it into frame, but I want to get it hung up. Trayvon is one of those guys I love to watch his film. Such a good football player, and I think with this Patrick Graham defense, he's just going to be asked to do a lot more. We seen with the cover 3 system, he was just playing that single high roll. I called him the magic eraser. He really did a good job cleaning up tackles. This year, though, I really think he's going to be asked to do a lot of multitude of things. He's going to come down, play man in the slot. He's going to be a true cover safety, and you're just going to see his game unlock a little bit more. Trayvon Martin has the opportunity to have an all-pro season, and I think he can have. He had a really good rookie year. He made the all-pro rookie team, but I think Trayvon Martin could actually have the impact that Nate Hobbs had his rookie year. You know what I mean? And maybe talk about in that conversation of maybe earning a Pro Bowl caliber season.
Sorry about that, Ray. I've got my 2 dogs playing in the background here.
No, dude, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. SC says, I'm currently having some dinner late, so I'm listening. It's good to see Van City. Much love, brother. And that's all good, bro. But yeah, man.
My brother, what's going on?
So look, Raider Nation, there's a lot that we've talked about tonight. We talked about the running back rooms. We talked about matchups against the Vikings and the Raiders. We talked about how these veteran wide receivers really need to step up against the Vikings tomorrow. Guys like Mac Hollins, Demarcus Robinson, Tyron Johnson. Some of those guys really need to emerge. Defensive line, Pico, Butler, Billings, all of these guys, man, these guys need to step up tomorrow. We need push on the interior of this defensive line. We need somebody to emerge in depth of this edge group. There's a lot of things to watch out for tomorrow, Raider Nation. I'm really, really excited. I'm really fired up. Maybe we'll do a post-game show, but look, Tuesday, we are bringing Andy from Raiders Talk, okay? He's going to be on here with me again to give the nation what they wanted to see. And also later on in the week, we're going to have Raid the Tape. So look, we're bringing you guys
responsible for you and Andy linking up that one night.
I do. I mean, you started bringing it up. It was so weird, bro. Like the power of Raider Nation. Like within 10 minutes, I got this dude pulling up and we're linking up. And look, I'm sure that there's a lot of content creators that just try to reach out to those dudes so they can get clicks and views and all that. It was just so cool to naturally see that come together organically. And Raider Nation had the biggest hand in it because, you know, I didn't do anything before the show to do that. That was all you guys. And it just goes to show you, like, look, if you guys want to see content with content creators getting involved, we're going to give people what they want to see. So I appreciate that the Raider Nation wanted me to talk with Andy. Those are among the guys who are probably some of the most respected in the game. So for Raider Nation to want me to get in there and talk with them, it's truly an honor. So moving forward, man, we're not going to. What's up?
Have you talked with Docs at all?
I haven't talked with Docs, but look, I'm imagining that Wasted has hit me. I've got messages from Wasted right now on Instagram that I got to get to, but Wasted, I've worked with Andy now and working with Andy again. I think it's a matter of time before me and Doc sit down and talk, if I'm being honest. I think those content creators that you guys are used to watching, I think that we're going to do everything that we can to do a collaboration. So, and a lot of that goes on with you guys. Like, you guys have to also be pretty active and say, hey, man, Wasted, Docs, Andy, I'd like to see you talk with Raider Ray and you guys collab and talk football. Because for me, bro, it's about talking Raiders football and giving you guys the best content available. And if that means us coming together and bouncing off the roster and kind of putting our minds together collectively, I think that's the best thing for the nation. So I appreciate everybody of Raider Nation. We got 35 people in the building. If you guys can, go smash the like button. Go over to your favorite YouTube content creators. Let them know who you guys want to see us work with next. We got Andy. We got Raid the Tape. It's been an absolute honor to come before you guys tonight and to bring Van City on for his first live show. It's a pleasure that you came on with me, brother. You're always welcome here. Anytime you want to talk and anytime I open it up, you're always welcome here. So much love to you, brother. Much love to the chat. Much love to Raider Nation. Let's go out and get a dub tomorrow. Raider Nation, we got a lot of players that have to show a lot. I'm excited. So you guys, I'll see you guys soon. If not tomorrow, I will definitely see you guys Tuesday, and I will work on dropping content if that's what you guys would like, if you guys would like some short videos. So shout out to everybody, man. Debo says, love to see another content creators coming together. Great job, Ray. I appreciate it. SC says 100. Salute Van City. Raider Nation, with all that being said, and 38 of you in the chat, go Raiders.
Raider Nation for life.
Just win, baby.